You are listening to RetroLovers Radio, your go-to broadcast for positive nostalgia.
What a wonderful night. You're listening to Retro Lovers Radio, a space for 80s and 90s music, memories, and for positive nostalgia. Which 80s songs didn't just entertain you, but quietly helped you figure out who you were? Let's move into the middle of the decade around 1984 to 1988. By then, many people were no longer kids, but not quite adults either. You were starting to define yourself. You, you chose your clothes carefully. Music posters were on bedroom walls. You rewound cassette tapes so often that the sound slowly degraded, but you didn't care. Music wasn't just entertainment anymore, it was identity. And in the 80s, many songs quietly asked an important question: who are you really? So tonight we're talking about 80s songs that didn't tell you who to be. They reminded you to listen to yourself. So let's begin with the song A Kind of Magic by Queen from 1986. This song arrived in a decade obsessed with definitions, success, roles, expectations. But this track carried a different feeling. One lyric stands out: it's a kind of magic. It was not explained, not justified. It suggested that some things in life don't need permission. They simply feel right. For many listeners, this song wasn't about fantasy. It was about trusting that inner sense, even when the outside world demanded clarity. Now consider the song Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime by the Corgis or the Corgis, 1980. This song played everywhere, on radios, stores, quiet evenings at home, and it carried a simple human truth. Everybody's got to learn sometime. That line normalized vulnerability. It said, you don't have to know everything now. You are allowed to learn slowly, imperfectly. In a decade focused on appearance and confidence, this lyric offered emotional permission. Now let's talk about Don't You Want Me by the Human League from 1981. On the surface, it's a catchy synth pop hit, but underneath, it reflects a deeper 80s tension, identity within relationships. One lyric quietly lingers: I was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. Doesn't sound quite deep, but it grounded the song in reality. Real people, real roles, real transitions. It reminded listeners that who you are today doesn't cancel who you were before. Growth doesn't erase identity, it layers it. All these songs didn't give instructions, they reflected questions people were already asking. Who am I becoming? What do I keep? What do I let go? And that's why they still resonate. They didn't define identity, they respected it. So if you enjoy this kind of deep listening and reflection, join us live every week with the 90s Lovers show on Fridays and with the 80s Lovers show on Saturdays. Both live at 7 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube and Kick channels. I first start the YouTube live stream for around 10 minutes just to allow people some time to gather as a kind of waiting room. And then we continue the full show live stream on Kick, where we can play full music video clips with no restrictions, like it happens on YouTube. That's why I cannot stream the full show on YouTube. I share I share the link to Kick for you all to move there. That's where things really come alive, with the 4 show segments, your song request, live voting, your voice messages on air, and even phone calls to share memories, stories, and reflections connected to the music. You can participate or simply listen. And if you feel like participating, you can do it on Kick's chat or by leaving comments on the main post of our public Facebook group, which allows more space to write. So join our public group on Facebook by searching for RetroLovers Radio 80s and 90s Nostalgia. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and turn on the notification bell, and keep an eye on all the 6 extra monthly special shows as well. So tonight we explore the 80s as a decade of identity. Songs that didn't shout the instructions, but quietly reflected who people were becoming in that moment. Lyrics that allowed uncertainty, learning, and growth. Music that said, you don't have to be finished, or you just have to be honest. That's why these songs still feel personal today. They don't belong to the past. They belong to the moment you hear them. So now let me know, is there an 80s song that helped you understand yourself better? A lyric that felt like it described you at that time? Share it in the comments on YouTube. Your memory may spark someone else. And before I go, remember to take care of your loved ones and remember what is truly important in your life. All the rest is secondary. Alright, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you all in the next one. And this was Retro Lovers Radio.